mate, last time we were both there together, the rain was, we were like this together, right? Stuck, I was on the floor, right next to me, we were all just all cramped up because the rain was coming in from all angles. You got some plastic shit that just, yeah, it'll be alright, but then you can't get out and then, you know, I don't know, but yeah, it's quite nice, it's quite nice. How you been? What's going on?
Good. You're gonna fly tomorrow or?
No, I'll go back Monday.
Monday. What? You like going?
Better than this.
Oh, it's cold. Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, go. I don't know what's worse, to be honest, man. I don't know if it's worse being cold or if it's worse being windy. live. I mean, we're not. No one can hear us, right? to need some kind of magic this afternoon, that of Altona, if they are to put the pressure on those 3 places below them in the automatic relegation positions. Adam Palombi on the call today for Football Victoria. A warm welcome to you watching on the YouTube channel. We're at Paisley Park for today's instalment of round 18. We're deep in the competition now, and it's the Magic who lock horns with the Hume City visitors. Of course, who have had some difficult times of their own in the short turnaround of a week, considering their Tokati Cup exit to Nunawading, which occurred at the start of the middle week of June, and will that be considered a managerial change also occurring with Riccardo Marchioli being dismissed? Of course, club legend and long-time servant of the club, Nick Hegarty, takes the reins for the remainder of the season. From captain to gold medal winner to Tokati Cup champion, Hegarty at the helm. So we might take a glimpse of how the Magic line up today. There was a very late change, I believe, before this one started, which we might have to hang on to for a brief moment. Hume looking to get busy early. The cross comes in. Makausha having quite the season. Captain clears away. We will start with the hosts this afternoon in Altona. Ila Shalamanov-Trenkova is the goalkeeper. Hiroi Kawaguchi lines up alongside Barka Danikoski and Olamawewe in defence. Alexander Gust completing the fullback partnership. He's in possession right now. Christos Theodorakopoulos returns from his European adventure. Saad Makausha in the lineup. Bilal Habib, Anthony Frangi, Daniel Fabrizio and Julian Rodriguez complete the team today. Worth mentioning that, well, before this one got started, it was O'Keefe. It was actually announced by the ground announcers here at Paisley Park, although there might have been one very late change as Habib's gone on the rampage here. And they have earned the corner. First test for Darren Camilleri. Of course, with Michael Weir succumbing to injury, hasn't exactly helped. That of Hume in their recent weeks, having such a seasoned goalkeeper not be available. Their lineup coming shortly, although coming right now is a corner from Theodorakopoulos. Crosses in nice into the near post. Makausha never really struck it sweetly. His counterpart, Captain Bingham, rolls the ball out now, in which can be chased by Birgan Kidar. That line ball was searching for the same impact player. Flag will go up. Olamawewe giving his side that the flag had gone up. Completed the successful high line. Well, no Ashcroft to speak of today for Hume. And without him, the defensive partnership consists of both Aaron Reardon, dare I say rather, Eisen Ishak, and Aaron Reardon are the centre backs. The full backs consist of both Aishan Ishak and Joseph Ford. O'Kane, Kidar and Bingham all across the middle of the park. Harker, Keelat and Erdeniz Yildiz all in attack. So that's the state of affairs here so far today in terms of lineups. Both sides with a bit to do, considering Altona just on the outskirts of the bottom 3. Major clash tomorrow, of course, at Lakeside between South Melbourne and Preston. Those two old rivals rekindle their long-time love affair. Altona are to get a win here today. It's their 5th win of the season. We'll just jump to 20 points. They're currently 1 point off of South Melbourne in 10th. The race at the bottom end of the table between Melbourne Knights, the Port Melbourne Sharks and St Albans, all within 3 points victory. 11th position on 15. Win for Hume. Keeps the pressure on the Cannons, who sit in 4th place. Hume in 5th, of course. Preston just trailing behind that of City on 28 points in 6th place. So what's on offer here today? Just important at different parts of the table. Marko Danikoski looks down the line, trying to find Habib, head of the way. Dealt with by Hume. Rokopoulos trying to utilise Fabrizio. Marko Danikoski heads forward. Habib still going. They'll claim handball, and that's exactly the official award. A lot of wind here today, not in comparison to perhaps the last time personally I was out here in Altona. Major fan of coming out to this ground. It's one of the more storied clubs and venues across not just Victoria but Australia. And it was quite the story in which on the night of the A-League men's semi-final, they were versing Melbourne Victory's under-21 side, and well, it was raining sideways that evening. Lots of wind to speak of today. I hope it's not being picked up too much on the microphone. Goran Lozanovsky picking up some instruction here as the ball's lofted in with real intent from Hume following that free kick. Gus goes down. The official will sound his whistle again. Marko Danikoski never really struck it sweetly from the free kick. O'Kane lofts it up. Fabrizio heads it on. Handball being claimed by Altona. Joseph Ford chests out of play, and Gus will get things re-going. Right as the sun just shows its head out the clouds. Gus. Nice touch for Frangi. Habib. Cross attempt blocked by Cleart, and Rokopoulos will say to Gus to take the throw in. Of course, before the game kicked off, a lot of respect between the two clubs. Rather jovial, having quite the chat with each other before play was to begin. That's a very ambitious idea of a ball by Kedar. Harker was the idea. And on the other end, Habib is offside. Bingham. Clears. It's Gus. Protests for whose ball's going to be. Sing out loud. Goes the way of Altona. Christos Theodorokopoulos just trying to break the lines a bit further up the field, roaming in that number 10 role. It's the officials today. Ugur Aslan is the main referee. Gabriel Morales is joined, of course, by Matthew Morales as the assistants. Will Quartermain is the fourth official. Theodorokopoulos. Habib just didn't get the right touch, and well, how Theodorokopoulos was upset about that, considering he was in open space at the other end. Ford. Cross comes in, although its shape wasn't going to pick out the tall timber of both Bingham and Harker. Shrinkova for Kawaguchi. Lofting ball for Fabrizio. Hume worked things out with Joseph Ford. Of course, in terms of the hosts' recent form, they've had a few weeks, in fact, they'd want to forget. Home lost to Preston last time they were here. The trip to Dandy Thunder was a one they, I'm sure, will completely forget. A 6-0 loss, the heaviest incurred so far this season. In stark contrast, though, throughout May they were flying. Where Altona, 3 wins in consecutive fashion. An away win at St Albans, a home win against Melbourne Victory, which Kawaguchi was a lone goal scorer within. Kidada's cross. Harker got a touch on at the near post. Unbothered was the keeper of Shrinkova. Olamawewe for Barka Danikoski. Gets a more sweeter connection this time. Habib flicks it on and now has some space to run into now. Habib. Frangi's an option ahead of him. Inside the box now, the attacker. Central ball. Theodorokopoulos. Wanted the give and go. It was, dare I say, Rodriguez who was involved also in that attack for Vardar. Just lacked that little bit of polish, but getting busy early. It's Bilal Habib on broadcast side on the left flank. He's really been lively, trying to infiltrate. Bingham, nice touch. Searches wide. Cleart, the overlap arrives from Ford. Cross comes in, wasn't dealt with until Barka Danikoski got a clearance. Fabrizio came across. Theodorokopoulos wanted the foul, won't get it. O'Kane wasn't able to have it out wide to Ford. Of course, we briefly touched on City's recent form outside of the NPL Victoria. Having a look at recent fixtures. 3-0 win against Dandy City last Friday night. A come-from-behind win against Green Gully, 3-2 the final score. A draw to Dandy Thunder previous. Their last loss in NPL Victoria competition was on Friday the 16th of May against Preston at home. So hasn't been the worst run of form for them. Of course, no Lord Isgrove today. No Ashcrofts. No Weir, some senior players absent. And well, Theodorokopoulos, that was pedestrian. Harker's gone for broke. Well, he tried the chip from distance, did the tall striker. The man of Shrinkova was off his line, although you'd assume he wasn't too far off his line to not deal with such a brain fade from quite a experienced player now in his own right, Theodorokopoulos. Entering his mid-20s. Wasn't his finest moment there, but was lucky to get away with it. Barakatanikoski with one of his own. Clear for O'Kane. Lovely move. This could be from Hume. It's a decent save. One of the pleasures of being right in the middle of both technical areas is hearing the managers. And right now, I can tell you, there's two different stories being spoken from each bench. Lozanovsky incensed with his side currently. Wants a response quickly. Kedar's corner. Lovely shape on it. Hit the crossbar. Nearly an Olympico here in Paisley Park. We've seen that before this season. Dare I say it was either Alex Sabin or Joe Guest for the Cannons against Melbourne Victory a few rounds ago now, where that had occurred nearly for the second time. Peter Cannon Kidada with, I'm not sure he intended that, but well, if it got in, I'm sure you say he would have. The breeze is firmly pushing to the right, which certainly would have helped that swinging cross in. Frangi does really well. Habib stopped his run. Seeing a bit of disharmony, maybe not the right word, but lack of cohesion between these very eager Altona attackers. Just have to be a little bit more calculated perhaps. Get the ball back. Makausha wasn't sure where to go. The captain, the orange armband on. Forward. Gust cuts it off to Rokopoulos. Kawaguchi will get there. Trenkova won't make it work. Made a decent save before. Either Shalamanov, Trenkova. Okay, was inside the box, looking to finish. The Rokopoulos takes charge. Kazar remains on the deck. It's 3 against 2 here on this counter charge. O'Kane prevents anything from occurring, although Kazar just slow to get back up on his feet. Worth mentioning, of course, looking at the Altona Magic stands and the club rooms today. No matter the cold weather, still people out enjoying the football. Although the Bureau is saying there's no rain in terms of the weather, they reckon it's 11 degrees and, well, it feels like it's almost -1 considering how cold and chilly the wind is. Started with Ishak. It's now made its way out wide to Yildiz. Long throw in the idea. Bingham the target. Flicks it on to Bingham. Harker. Even the build up to that was just impeding that of Makausha, which alleviates the Magic of any more attacking threat by City as Trenkova, the ball just sits up in the wind, and that might be a bit of the narrative in this opening foray of football. Hume will try to use it to their advantage. Altona in the second half will look to do the same as they're kicking to the right of your screen. Kawaguchi, Rokopoulos, Rodriguez, Frangi. Rokopoulos turning one too many times. O'Kane has done well to get the ball back. Clears. O'Kane trying to Run into some space. Bartka Danikoski gets across, takes a slide, gets the ball towards Gust. Clear, concedes play. Magic with throw in. Gusts. Habib. Frangi trying to latch on. Camilleri. Composed with his feet. The goalkeeper, although that press is very heavy from the Magic, there might be a chance here, you know. Frangi can dispatch. Goran Lozanovsky. Happy there perhaps with Rodriguez for forcing the change of possession. And Frangi so far this season has been rather bright for the Magic. Of course, 3 goals in this season so far. In 7 appearances. Of course, all in accordance to the statistics provided by Football Victoria. Theodorokopoulos. Gus, lovely cross. Just not finding his teammate. Makausha takes a touch. Juggling the ball, Makausha. Fantastic craftsmanship from the midfielder. Theodorokopoulos. Habib. Gidar wants to start the counter charge. Lovely ball roll, so evasive to get away from Theodorokopoulos. Arslan's whistle never sounded, although I'm sure each player thought it might have, from both sides. Gust. Makausha, turn of his own. Goes long over the top. Rodriguez. Wasn't able to latch on. O'Kane's had a great start to this game, conducting things in the engine room. On the receiving end of commentator's curse. There's the pass over the top, just not finding that of Haka. Bartka-Danikoski, Gust. Habib. Gust called for it again. Cleared. In strong. So was Ford. Sliding. Starts whistle sounding. Habib. Lateral ball. It's Kawaguchi to keep things moving. It's a very questionable ball from Habib. Theodorokopoulos having a glance, and it was Reardon. Now for Camilleri to pick it up and roll it back towards him. Bingham. Cleared in support inside the box. Got around Bartka-Danikoski. Ford, dispossessed. Makausha, Theodorokopoulos. Trying to break no other Magic. So a contrast perhaps to both the midfields so far in this game. The individual battle between maybe O'Kane and Theodorokopoulos. The Hume City player of O'Kane having much more authority, if you will. In comparison to Theodorokopoulos, who's been in the right places, just not been able to have the ball move his way. Kawaguchi heads it on. Theodorokopoulos flick on. Once Matter fought under some pressure. Kedar comes completely just flying in. Aslam. There's work cut out for him right now. It's gone the way of Hume. Reardon. O'Kane. Reardon for Kedar. Whose corner that hit the crossbar has only been the real threatening chance so far for Hume, of course. Alongside the O'Kane effort that was saved by Shlemanov Trenkova. Gusts down the line. O'Kane plants his feet, heads away. Clayart gets involved. Bingham. Clayart. Barkatanikowski heads away. Gusts clears. Kedar takes a slip. Theodorokopoulos with Kedar. Hume really dominating in the midfield battle right now, considering that O'Kane and Kedar have been influential. Of course, for Birkan Kedar, pointing Kuluru, neighbouring suburb to Hume, of course. Represented Hume City at a young age. Time with the Royals and Whittlesea Rangers before joining Melbourne Victory in 2018. Played 30 senior matches for them, 34 senior matches for their NPL side within that time. Was formerly of Tanjong Thunder. Now finds himself with Hume City. Makasha. Gusts. Makasha once more. Olamawewe, co-owner of AU Ballers. Theodorokopoulos. Lovely dummy. Frangi. Kawaguchi can cross. Goes very high. Bilal tried to control. Gust trying to combine with Fabrizio. Kedar just happy to clear out of play. Currently it's been Altona's perhaps best passage of play. They've got possession and they've been a little bit more clean with the ball. Gusts controlled it nicely. Camilleri commanded himself, the goalkeeper. The 20-year-old was vocal, which allowed for Ishak to just dummy the ball and have the keeper to claim. He's gone centrally for O'Kane. Bingham can't unleash Cleart in behind. Makasha. Lovely ball down the line, at least the idea was, from Gust. Forward around Bilal Habib. Hume looking for some possession. Ishak. Reardon. Nice pass over the top, in which Yildiz can latch onto. Has he got the cross? It comes in. Trinkova had to palm away. Bingham on the follow-up. Well, it was inviting over the top. The run from Yildiz. His cross was testing of the keeper, but Bingham's follow-up wasn't really something with much of a bang. Kawaguchi. Frangi. Fabrizio. There's a press, although Ishak and Reardon sort things out. Reardon's gone back to the goalkeeper. Camilleri puts his right foot right through it. Alamuwewe heads away. O'Kane's turn, not around there to Akopoulos. Offside flag. It's been raised by one of the Morales, well, the assumption would be safe to say brothers or cousins. Barka Tanikoski takes charge. Kawaguchi not in the same wavelength. Although it's only 3:45 on Saturday afternoon, the floodlights have been switched on around Paisley Park. Makasha and O'Kane coming together. Makasha won the individual battle, goes over the top with a nice pass. Frangi. Reardon trying to get rid of Frangi, who's trying to twist around him, and in fact he's done well here. The number 14, the cross comes in for Fabrizio. He got his footwork completely wrong at the pivotal moment. It was a great run from Anthony Frangi. He was twisting and turning and causing the world of headaches for Aaron Reardon. And Fabrizio would want that moment again. Kawaguchi. O'Kane clears away. Makasha. Poised to go back towards Barka Danikoski. Gust. Habib. Makasha. Theodorokopoulos. Gust. Habib. Trying the overlap of Gusts. Forwards sliding challenge, not a foul. Though maybe looking like one. Gusts throw. Fabrizio is trying to get the ball inside the box. Makasha. Back to the goalkeeper. Lamuwewe. Barka Danikoski. Makasha. Not happy with that effort. He was the captain. Oh, touching on the Magic so far this season. It's been a rather strange 5 weeks for them, but in terms of their league form, the way things have gone for them, 26 goals conceded, negative 12 goal difference, only 14 scored. Christian Rossi, of course, has been a noticeable absentee. Captain. Another big loss for them. Aaron O'Driscoll, of course, moving to Manly United. Out of Victoria, and Juash at Heidelberg has now been coined the Raging Bull. He certainly has had a very good season so far. Meanwhile, Harker and Shamanov Trenkova was rather uncertain as the ball was deviating towards him. Gust goes down the line for Prizio. Offside. Ishak. Gust heads away. Fabrizio, lovely. Shift of direction, and now Habib in a wide area. Hume getting back quickly, gets around Ishak, does Habib. Cross comes in for Theodorakopoulos. Was that a handball? Aslan completely dismisses it. Golden opportunity for the Magic. They've started brightly in this game. And Makasha with a real lackluster ball, and Barka Danikoski's had to go a long way. Prevents a corner from being conceded. Shalamanov Trenkova flirting with fire, but the ball does find Gust. Habib not around forward. Barka Danikoski. Fabrizio started the move with Makasha. Now Habib has Gust in support. Tried the creative flick to get it back towards Habib. Gust now looking for the crossing option. Habib. Fabrizio calling for the ball. He's on his own. Habib, though, draws the foul. Ishak got over ambitious. There's one thing perhaps that Altona have lacked this season. It's a big, tall striker. Of course, Darcy Anastovsky moving to the Knights. Haven't exactly got tall timber, although Habib, Olamawewe, perhaps, and Barka Danikoski, not to forget, those you'd assume Hume Theodorakopoulos will try pick out from this free kick. Cross comes in, deceiving ball. Fabrizio keeps the move going. Theodorakopoulos lofts it this time. Nice shape on the cross, no one at the back post. Is there a counter charge now from Hume? Kadar shifts inside, big slide from Frangi. Big collision. And both medicos have to go inquire what's happening here. The down to Altona and Hume player. Hume incensed that with Will Quartermain on this broadcast side in the technical area. Hume staff not happy. But Kadar's up on his feet. It's more that of Anthony Franchi who committed the foul. He's remaining on the deck. So it's a makeshift, well, intermission really, considering the stoppage in play. Anthony Frangi, well, came in rather late and full of force. The 27-year-old has his fair share of football around Australia. Of course, of Lebanese descent. He's formerly of Hills United for a return to NPL Victoria. Represented the likes of Marconi Stallions, Hakoa in NPL NSW. Was a nice and dandy Thunder player in Victoria before Mount Druitt. Hills United are now back with Altona, so it's been around the traps. But he's back up on his feet. Fabrizio just can't seem to flick on for Gusts. Theodorokopoulos goes down. Gusts. Ishak's very late there, you know. And Altona, considering that there was players just streaming forward, if Gusta got the pass away, Ishak, you'd argue, from a Hume perspective, had to make the foul, or at least an attempt to prevent that pass from going through. It was a 2-on-3 situation in favour of the hosts. Nation Ishak, the first player, cautioned into the book. A yellow card. Well, Altona have committed defensive players forward for this set piece. Makausha had the talking to by Olamawewe. Wants the ball towards him. That's exactly where it's gone from Makausha. Harker getting physical. Sense of frustration again from the Magic bench, considering that might have been a set-piece routine. They're looking to infiltrate from. Quick glimpse of what's going on around us. Of course, Avondale taking on St Albans today at Avenger Park, the Calabria Club. It's 1-1 at half-time. Frangie, flag was always going to go up. Ishak. Kizar. Makausha blocks. Involuntarily make that. Now Theodorokopoulos can kickstart the counter charge here. Rodriguez is out wide. Cross comes in for Frangie! That was the moment you feel for the Magic. Goran Lozanovsky certainly might have thought the same. It's a brilliant run on the counter charge. You could see Hume just having their wide flankers and fullbacks commit forward. Joseph Ford and Yildiz doing much of the same, which allowed for the door to be open on the counter. Theodorokopoulos had brilliant weight on the pass to Luis Rodriguez. His cross was excellent, just Frangie not able to finish. Yildiz with a fine touch. Much the same from Yusial. Kadar. Gusts flicks away. Harker might have been offside, although because he hit it out of play, the official closest to him deems a Hume throw in. Ford. Harker. Makausha couldn't clear. O'Kane in the mix. Theodorokopoulos sends Frangie for a run. Ishak has to be cautious, considering he's on a card. Ford going a bit too far. Kadar, Theodorokopoulos. Rodriguez couldn't get away. Bit of a shirt being pulled by Rodriguez upon Elton Yildiz. Another individual matchup to keep an eye on throughout this one. Ishak. Reardon. 2 minutes of extra time awarded by Will Quartermain. Theodorokopoulos came there with O'Kane. The debate starting both on the bench and on the playing surface, whose way it was going to go. Alamewewe wanted to go quickly for Habib. Of course, Joseph Ford, formerly of Perth Glory, started his youth career at Forestfield United in Perth. Of course, the place where he was born, the Hume number 2. 2024 played some football for Waterford, the Irish Premier Division. Of course, was the grandson of Irish Olympic footballer Hugh Ford and great nephew of Irish professional footballer Tommy Ford, all in accordance to Wikipedia. As Cleart. The only player in support was Mehmet Yücel. It's a late twist to this opening half. Although scoreless, not short on entertainment. Both sides having chances. Ford. O'Kane. Shifting direction. Going down. Very late call perhaps made there by the assistant referee. Samakasha letting his thoughts be known. Koran Lozanovsky, always outspoken, we know that, but I'm sure there's a rightful explanation. I'll have to hear it at half time. Can Hume snatch the opener in the last few seconds of added time? Free kicks crossed in. Yamaguchi flicks away. And the referee signals half-time. A few opportunities for both sides. The Magic with Fabrizio and Frangi having chances from crosses that came in low and hard. It was O'Kane who forced Shalamanov-Trenkova into a decent save in the earlier proceedings of this first half. And a corner which hit the crossbar directly from its spot from Berkan Kadar. Yet the scores remain the same. No substitutions to speak of throughout the half-time break. The Sun, a much wanted guest that's just shining upon that of Paisley Park right now as we cross into the second half. Sides unchanged. The ledger rather even. Hume now kicking against the wind. Altona with it, and I'll tell you, judging that the Magic likes a counter punch, they'll have some extra wind to have in their sails. Harker. Keelart inside the box. Shalamanov Trenkova with his first involvement. Olamewewe. Now Kadar trying to open things up for Harker. Barkadanekoski, no nonsense, clears out of play. The Oz Championship not too far away. The trophy was unveiled yesterday on social media and will be present at the South Melbourne Preston match tomorrow for a taste of what's to come. Very exciting times for football, not just in Victoria, but in Australia, really. Meanwhile, Bingham heads on. Harker was there waiting. He might get it now. In fact, he does. Barkadanekoski with an important block. The ball now resides on the roof at Paisley Park. Well, they're not getting that back in some time. I hope there's a ladder present or handy in the facility. It is snug in the gutter on the roof. Terakopoulos gets it back nicely. Lofts over the top. It's a nice ball for Rodriguez. Isolated. The attacker awaits the cavalry. Terakopoulos gets it back. His shot hits a body. Flag goes up for Rodriguez. First glimpses of Christos Terakopoulos in this second half. A lot more pristine, a lot more of a finer distribution being produced. His mind didn't awfully look on the job in the opening. That was more vintage Theorakopoulos. Makasha and Bingham. Kawaguchi. Reardon head of the way and Yildiz clears out of play. Kawaguchi. Opposite flanks now for Gust. Habib stepping inside. Awaits the overlap of Gust. He was trying to draw away a few Hume shirts for that to happen, although in the end out of play. As for Hiroe Kawaguchi, the Japanese international, formerly, of course, of Sydney United, to move to the Northern Tigers before joining Altona. Quite some experience. His first stint in Victoria with the Magic as Cleart going on a nice run. Cross comes in. Falls for O'Kane. He's just wide of scoring the opening goal in this one. Caught it nice off the volley. Had O'Kane. Trenkova got across, but ultimately it would have been beaten. You'd almost assume. So much for power, but for placement. Ball travels in the wind. Reardon. Headed on, has to control and clear. Bingham, Terakopoulos flicks into his dugout. Yildiz down the line. O'Kane's flick. Harker. The idea. Kawaguchi clearance. Habib trying to cause some confusion. Ishak. Moves it for Keelat out wide. Cross is a nice one. Lovely touch. Bingham can let fly. That was a brilliant move from Hume. What a lovely touch it was from Mehmet Yasal, which allowed for the Bingham volley. So well crafted. And captain Josh Bingham fires wide, but some ominous warning shots being fired by City. Rodriguez dispossessed. Olamawewe down the line. Reardon has to turn. Passing option for his keeper cut off by Frangi. Bingham, O'Kane. Kawaguchi preventing the threat of Yildiz to get more creative. Update on the ball on the roof. There's an Altona Magic beanie. Up there, clearing it and making the walk back down. So that match ball might have some more life in it. As there is life in this game, it must be said, although scoreless, has been fluent. Idea was bright, not the execution from Yildiz, trying to unlock Bingham. Acrobatic and instinctive clearance from Reardon. Ishak. Kidar, the wind's really picking up still. Still going is Ford. He had it threaded through for Harker. Barkatanikoski had to intervene. He'd done so well. Cleart. Luwembe and Harker come together. Kawaguchi clears the danger. Ishak wins the ball, though Frangi is a little bit uncomfortable. The way he landed, maybe. Kawaguchi. And now Yasal has it roll for O'Kane. Chance for Hume! The opener for Hume! For a player who's been so influential in the engine room, finds himself inside the box and finishing clinically. Joshua O'Kane for Hume City inside the opening minutes of the second half has this contest's opening goal. The 21-year-old has been rather the namesake at Hume for some time now. The brief trip to Sydney Olympic in between the start of his Hume career until now, he's repaid the faith since returning last year. And considering the game he was having, no surprises. He has his name on the score sheet. It's all about how now the Magic can respond. Bingham brings down Makausha. And goes into the book, does Josh Bingham. Had a bit to say to Ergar Arslan. Danikoski took it quickly for Theodorakopoulos. Olamawewe. Kawaguchi. Ishal and company trying to clear. Olamawewe. Back the same way they went before. Theodorakopoulos. Flag stays down. Well then. Protests. Well then, it was crossed back in by a Hume player to Camilleri, who picked it up. Lozanovsky is outraged. Having a chat to Will Quartermain. Well then, Varda feel hard done by. And quite frankly, it's hard to disagree. The protests were completely ringing out across from not just the interchange, or substitution benches rather, but even from the home fans as well. And although Hume are leading, they do want to add perhaps another one to the board, and you can see a change might be made soon. Godfrey DeBelle to be that change, the number 9. Dracopoulos there with Kedar. That was a little bit late from Kawaguchi. Well, Josh Bingham was on a card. And he hands the captain's armband to Birkan Kedar as he strolls off, and Godfrey DeBelle will take his place. Mwewe having a chat to Hume management, and dare I say, I don't think they're disagreeing with what they saw there. Dracopoulos floats one out wide for Habib, who's going to have to chase on, but is ambitious from the Altona number 10. As for the substitute for Hume, the number 9 made his move across at the start of the season. The Gold Coast Knights. Only the 1 goal in 9 appearances in accordance to the transfer market. Still looking to find his feet. Perhaps as the substitute. Can he do it on a cold day in Altona North? We'll find out soon. Forward. Isial. Klias. Forward. Fabrizio for Barca Danikoski. Habib, there could be a counter here for Altona. Habib going lateral. Rodriguez. Fabrizio waits it nicely. Kawaguchi. Ball never gone out of play. But Yildiz does what's necessary. Clears off of Kawaguchi. And it earns a goal kick for his side. DeBelle. Arslan sounds his whistle. Dracopoulos against his counterpart number. Qatar felt it. Reardon. Bartadikowski unleashes Frangi, and there might still be a chance here for Altona. They can have the ball just roll their way. We're nearly in behind there. Over the top now, DeBelle chasing. Lovely sprint speed on display. Olamawewe, who backtracked in time. Makausha. Lovely bit of skill individually from the captain. Gust. Dorokopoulos. Back for Gust. Strong was Ishak. O'Kane. Harker could be in behind. It's a brilliant ball from O'Kane. Out comes Shalamanov Trankova. Bartadikowski was beaten for pace. Fine read by the keeper. Small way to ball in behind from O'Kane to unleash Harker. Since scoring, City has certainly been the more imposing team. Looking at the Altona bench, they're looking to get ready for a few changes of their own. See Lachlan Gillard ready to come on, and Christos Theodorokopoulos has his day all said and done. "19-year-old, a handful of appearances so far this season. Look as if Altona have got a bit of a rechange in shape following that change. Fabrizio with a slip centrally. Lovely from Kadar. DeBelle. Edge of the box. Needs the cavalry to arrive. He's isolated on his own. O'Kane goes a reverse option, lovely ball. Cross comes in. Shamav Trenkova came out. Bartadikowski cleared. Zixiao with that delivery. Gets it from the throw in Yusau. Gillard with his first involvement. Couldn't clear as far as Kadar. Cross comes in. Kliart was there. Habib looking for some composure to instill upon Altona. Mind that he's gone exactly down the line into a channel. Lovely back heel. Now Gust. Might be a chance here for the Magic. Rodriguez was arriving. Habib keeps it going. Opted to go alone. Ball just ricochets towards Makausha. Going very direct were the Magic there. Makausha. Gillard keeps it in somehow. His touch just lets him down, unfortunately. Camilleri goes long. Gillard heads away. Arslan just telling that of Yildiz to get going. Makasha. Habib. Clayart and Ford just trying to get the ball off of Habib. Still on a rampage here. Habib inside the box, goes down finally. Took some stopping. This game getting a little bit spicier by the minute. Okay. Harker wants out of his attacker to latch on. Barko Denikoski. Strong. Upon Yusal. Rodriguez. Gets his cross in. Camilleri watched it sail over the crossbar. Camilleri. Kawaguchi no Kane. Aims really from Habib. Camilleri intelligent to take a couple of seconds off the clock. Punts it long. DeBelle. The whistle will sounds. Gillard into the book. Hume looking to set up again from a set piece. Kadar, lovely shape on the delivery. Shot out of Trenkova. Assertive. That's got to be a yellow card. And into the book. Goes out of Aaron Reardon. Edgar Aslan barely had to blink or move to make the decision. Habib, that's a nice ball from downtown to unlock him. Ford got back to defend. Okay, Ford. Lovely flick on by the menacing Mehmet Yusal, who's really terrorised today when having the chance to. Frangia resumes the attack. Rodriguez remains on the deck. Cross comes in. Fabrizio's header was rather cushioned, which Camilleri was able to save and handle. Camilleri, that's a bit pedestrian. Rodriguez, nice touch. Lofted ball for Frangi. Chance here for the Magic, maybe. Frangi, which way is he going to strike? That would have been a gift, really, considering Camilleri gave it right to out of Julian Rodriguez. And, well, he's trying to get his shot away, which he did, but wasn't the effort that was going to go in. Camilleri very long. Rodriguez again. Reardon on a card, down the line, Harker. Okay, and in behind, lovely touch that was. And now in behind is Harker. Clear's all on his own. Although the flag went up. Really enjoying the football of Mehmet Yücel. Just got all the acceleration and skill in the world to wheel away. It's a lovely flick on. The ball in behind for Harker. It was inch perfect, although the run from the number 45 wasn't. Habib definitely trying to keep this in, does so. And on the byline, he's made a nice venture here. Habib, cross came in. Not dealt with yet by Hume. Habib still going somehow. Got his cross in miraculously. Not sure how he's done that. Rodriguez on the edge of the area. Kawaguchi. Guskins hit them! That is one way to equalise. A rocket from Alex Gust. And right now, the spoils are shared at one apiece. Brilliant from the fullback. The Magic feel like they deserve that. And they get the equaliser they were after. Not a renowned goal scorer, Alexander Gust. Of course, does like to venture further up the park. Only the one goal this season. And at the other end, Hume looking for a very quick response. Goal scorer had to turn clearer. Debele. Hume trying to perhaps just catch out Altona, who really enjoyed that goal they scored. Danikowski could have gone to his keeper. Instead clears out of play. It's brilliant composure and effort from Bilal Habib, who kept the move going somehow. And once the ball fell to Gus, he had that bit of space to really let fly. And well, his finish was superb. Nothing Camilleri could do to keep it out. Side netting across the keeper. Sweet as a nut. Rodriguez. Danikowski. Looking for Habib. Has to get creative to keep it in. Does so. Tussling with Ford. Makausha. Give and go, getting busy. The captain, one of the back from Habib. Okay, and just had to clear. Harker, lovely control. Clears. Debele is out wide and isolated, if found. In fact, he was, by Kadar. Debele inside the box, well defended by Frangi, who backtracked. And well, he's getting one message out of another. One saying, great work. The other saying, why have you gone long to give the ball back? Conflicted, but ultimately not the worst performance from Frangi in that passage. Clear out. Yücel. ripper of a game, really. Must be said. Thoroughly enjoyed, from a neutral perspective, what we've seen so far here. The goals have been a quality. And Hume are looking for a bit more experience. And they've called upon one of their more senior veteran players, Mark Ching, not too far away from coming on. He might not be alone. Harker, flag's gone up. In fact, he won't be alone. Mark Ching, he's going to have his teammate alongside him. That of Michael Domfer. That's all we've seen from both Erdin Yildiz and Mehmet Yasal. Mark Ching and Michael Domfer in their places, respectively. First involvement from substitutes comes straight away. He's conceded the foul. And he's getting familiarised with the Altona faithful. It's for Michael Domfer. 2 goals in 14 appearances so far this season. Formerly of Inglewood United. 26-year-old. His debut season in the NPL Victoria. Of course, a while back he represented Perth Glory in the Y League almost 8 years ago. As the VPL Golden Boot winner for Northcote City last season. And he might be in here. Brilliant save by the keeper. Shalamanov Trenkova, reactive and got down low to keep out the man we're talking about, of Michael Domfer, who nearly had it all to say there. Hume with the ascendancy right now. They have a corner. Kadar's cross. Nice shape on it to the back posts. Killart had touched it, although Barka Danikowski wanted to go quickly. It's a goal kick, says Ergar Aslan. Trenkova. McCain heads it on. Domfer. Kadar. Keelat. Overlap arriving from Ford. Hume get the free kick. Tona just their fans and, well, managers deeming that might have not been what they thought it was, but Ergar Arslan's the one in control. Kadar, delivery, not going to reach the first man. O'Kane, went up nice and high. Debele, Ishak, Gillard blocks. DeBelle. Ochieng, cross comes in. Trinkova takes a bounce. Rolls it for Barka Danikoski. Kawaguchi, lovely touch. Habib, Gust on the overlap. Looking to infiltrate some space. Ishak, the afterburner's on. Gust's a bit late, and he will go into the book. Although being mentioned in the starting lineup by the club PA, Connor O'Keefe has the bib off, the Altona puffer jacket being unzipped, and the change will be made imminently, you feel. Reardon. DeBelle chasing, although it's gone out of play. Gillard going on a bit of a journey. DeBelle's flick will help his teammate of Reardon to clear long. Domfer heads it on. Gus, not as far as Kadar. Play really opening up here. McCousha trying to dispossess that of Kadar. Rodriguez. Foul being awarded to Hume again. Taking a slip. Might have been Harker. Gust. Sends it long. Ishak heads on for Ford. Gets it back. Utilises his keeper. Camilleri. Ching down the line. Domfer. Lueme hits it off his head. Domfer wasn't sure where the ball had gone. Olumewewe clears long. Flick on now for Frangi, who's central. Which way is he going to twist and turn? It's cut out by Reardon. O'Keefe's been brought on in place of Rodriguez. And he's nearly found there with his first touch by his teammate Frangi. Slipping was Reardon. Aching. Reardon this time gets connection, keeps his feet. Harker's flick on. Domfer not tall enough. Olumewewe sends long. O'Keefe flicks it on. O'Kane. O'Keefe gets the ball. Down the line now for Fabrizio. Stepping inside. Reardon does just enough with the standing challenge. Okay, now over the top. Domfer. Newhill's offside. Olumewewe leaves it for Shelamanov Trinkova. Sends it very long. Ford heads away. Gust stepping inside. Touches a bit heavy. Domfer. Kadar for Harker in some space. Reinforcements are scarce. Harker had to go solo, but went wide. Trinkova O'Keefe chests it on. Kadar with the captain's armband on. Gets it back from Domfer. Alueme blocks. O'Keefe draws the foul. Alumewewe rather. Getting firmly involved in this second half. Here in the last knockings of this contest. And dare I say, there's something in the air to just indicate that the spoils might not be shared. Domfer trying to get around Gillard inside the box. The ball trying to get towards Shamanov Trenkova. Well, the Hume bench and Altona bench, it was all amicable at the start. They're having conversations about, well, each of the conversations both benches might be having. Trenkova might have been lucky there. DeBelle went down. Cross comes in, near post was Harker. Trenkova claims. And he wants to go long. He's hesitating. He does it now. Bouncing ball. Ford has to be clean. Clearance is going to sit up in the air. Fabrizio. Habib. Back to Fabrizio. Cutting it off was Reardon. Gust. There's a winner in this game. I sense it. It's a matter of who. Habib. Desperately trying to get there. Couldn't keep it in. Just wonder how much added time is going to be allocated. Hasn't really been much of a stoppage in this second half. Well, Quartermain hasn't gone to the board yet, but got to be there in that time now, surely. Regulation nearly complete. The goal scorer Gus for Altona with the throw. Not sure what to do. Goes for his captain Makausha. Gusts. Twisting, turning. Ford gets the ball back. Well, Quartermain with a look at his watch. The fourth official. Clearance is long. Ishak and Reardon sort out the situation. Domfer. O'Kane. Over the top is Harker. At the back post to Ballet. Harker now inside the box. Trying to get around Bartka Danikoski. He goes down. Ugur Arslan waves it away. The Hume bench now having their protests. Meanwhile, play resumes at the other end. And look who's beelining Ford. Fabrizio's in here. He goes down. It was Ishak. This game on overdrive right now at both ends. An involuntary falcon from Ford upon Makausha will cause all the chaos to be brought to a calm. There is a lot to unpack from what we've just seen here. At one end, it was Harker. Bartka Danikoski was beaten. He might have had a bit of the Hume City number 45, I might feel. Ugur Arslan certainly didn't. Play transitioned. Fabrizio had gone down, although there wasn't really much of a claim there on the counter charge. But, well then, in this game. Well, I'm sure Hume City fans will feel as if that was a penalty. And I've said it a couple of times today, but I'll go on the record rather to say it again, that it's hard to disagree with that. Well, Quartermain, in the meantime, has gotten busy with his board. George Sitsinyaris itching to get on. The game at Avenger Park concluded. It was a 2-2 draw in the end between Avondale and St Albans. The last fixture in play right now in the men's competition. Still all to play for. Kozanowski appreciates utilising majority of his bench. Hasn't really done that today. And in unusual Altona fashion, the train hasn't come through either. But is there a late flurry from either side here? Ford hacks it long. Kane leaves the ball and out for Fabrizio. Went central. Kadar works that wide. Cheng has the fresh legs. Gets the ball for Kadar. O'Keefe. Handball. Well, Hume management in the book. Kadar behind the free kick. Oh, I'm sure you want that back again. Wasted opportunity. Trenkova. Dunfer might have had a piece of Trenkova as the two came past each other. Olima Wewe is waving towards the Altona physio to inquire if Trenkova's okay. We are into regulation time. There was 5 minutes of it being awarded. Oh, the Hume and Altona bench having a conversation about some perhaps calls being made against them, or not for them today rather. Discussing what could have been. Goran Lozanowski hasn't forgotten about the, and I quote, cross back to the keeper, in which had occurred in the opening half. Eldeniz, who was under some pressure, you could say, gave back to his keeper, who handled the ball. The Hume bench saying to that of the Altona, well, what about when Barka Danikoski had a lot of Harker's jumper? Meanwhile, this game's still up in dispute. Forget it about being on dispute on the bench. It's dispute in play. Kadar skidding in the engine room away from both Kawaguchi and Makausha. On a rampage now, the captain, Cleart. It will be a Hume corner. The Hume bench saying this is the one. Tense moment in this match. Kadar's cross comes in. Domfer's header. It was open, but it glances wide. That might have been the moment for the VPL Golden Boot winner of last season. George Sitsinyaris will get his minutes. If he was to have some impact on the scoreline, he'd be the impact sub of all time. It's an attacking change. Fabrizio makes way. Shrankova was down for some time in the stoppage. Just wonder if those minutes have been forgotten or not. Kawaguchi, since Naris has the fresh legs, he has to use all of them to try and get there. Too much mayhem on the path. Camilleri wants to get it going quickly. The question is, do Hume want to roll the dice completely in this last few seconds of the match? Camilleri, Onchieng heads it on. Domfer and Gillard come together. Olamawewe didn't want to use his keeper. Safety first, he cleared. Onchieng, Domfer, Barkatanikowski clears. Ishak judging the bounce of the ball. Reardon, Domfer, Harker. Searching ball for Keelard out wide. Cross comes in. Barkatanikowski reads well. Ford. Nakasha, acrobatic clearance. O'Kane shifting wide. Keelard now. Is there a cross for Hume? Blocked by Gust. O'Kane there. Goes out of play. Hume might have sensed that as their roll of the dice. Can the Magic do something quickly and snatch it right at the death? Trenkova doesn't go very far. Has to come off his line, the keeper. And that will be that. No late drama, although a lot of it unfolding throughout the full 90, plus the 5 added on. These two sides, with a lot of respect between each other, all come together in the end to share the points on offer. One apiece at Paisley Park. Josh O'Kane opened the scoring in the second half with a brilliant finish, to be matched by an equaliser of the same variety from Alexander Gust from outside the box. In terms of our broadcast, that is it from us up here today on the Country. I've been Adam Palombi. We appreciate you joining us for what was a decent matchup in round 18. And until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your night.